online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. Everything is awesome. I'm Kathy Kelly.
Always use a turn signal.
Joining me, as always. Oh, they're speaking.
Oh, we got the movie. We got the movie.
Lego version.
We got Emmett.
The movie, yeah. We figured that would be fitting for tonight.
Forget the show. Let's just watch.
Can we just watch the Lego movie? It's pretty good.
Yes.
How did you get it on YouTube?
Morning, Emmett.
So the two watching the Lego movie right now, Mark Donica.
Shut up. It's Emmett. I have to do. I am the internet soapbox Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at soapboxmark and at the Gimmick Pod, where we do podcasts at some point in the future.
Sometime. I was trying to think of the last time we actually did one. I think it was after the Tyler Breeze interview.
We almost did one without you.
Yeah, we almost did, but we ran out of
That's
time.
fine. You couldn't do that.
Sitting next to you, Mark, the hobo.
Hobo. Wrestling's #1 hobo.
That's
because
true.
I murdered all the other hobos.
What?
In wrestling. There can only be one, Kathy Kelly. There can only be one!
Here we are,
You
born
murdered
to be
him.
kings. Could you still be a prince of the universe, though?
Princess.
Princess of the universe. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
So,
What about you, though? What about you?
what about me?
What's your
You
Twitter?
have a coconut.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly, and I just tweeted a super awesome picture of myself and Hobo and some coconut head.
Still trying to get over that.
Yes.
Don't crack me.
So, this week's episode of NXT, what'd you guys think? Overall thoughts?
Yeah, it was alright.
Overall,
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's hard when a show delivers so many consummate performances. When they do one that's good, like it's still a wonderful show. It's still a really good show, but it's not like. Remember that one time though when it was like 10 weeks of absolute like perfection. So to come back down to like a 9.5 instead of a 10 or like a 9 instead of a 10 is still a little weird.
Yeah.
But it was still a solid show.
I
Still a
mean,
really
for
good
not
show.
having a main event planned prior, this is pretty solid, I would say.
I mean, it seemed like there was a lot going on, despite not yielding that much notes on paper for me, personally.
Yeah.
Still kind of like very full show, it felt like. Kept going to beat.
It's interesting, too. I feel like in the last year, we've gone from shows that were 40 minutes, maybe 45 tops, and
We're
now
lucky.
they're taking up the full hour, which is good, and it's all quality content.
Agreed?
Right.
Yeah.
That's really the challenge, is making quality content to fit your time. I know that shows like Raw have difficulty with that, and SmackDown does a lot of filler recap type stuff, but NXT really keeps it as close to all original type content. They did a lot of like recalls, like let's watch this replay again. And they did that a few times, which they did a little bit more than normal, but it wasn't so much that it took away from the show as a whole.
So we kick off tonight's show with another tribute to Dusty. This is the first one that they've done in the new set of tapings.
Yeah.
So Triple H came out with the entire NXT roster standing on the stage. Very heartfelt. You could tell, I feel like, even more so than the main roster, just how much Dusty impacted the lives of all of these people.
They saw him every day. And
He was their family.
For him to suddenly be gone is got to be a real shock. Just for somebody you see absolutely every day, day in, day out, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
That's got to be And everything's a reminder. You walk into the performance center and everything reminds you of this person who's no longer there, who was such an inspiration on you. So it's got to be hard for them to just even walk in the door in the morning.
Definitely.
Because they're reminded, oh, right, Dusty's not here.
Yeah.
The dream's not here.
And to have to keep on just powering through it and continuing to push out a product because you can't take weeks off.
No.
Yeah, there was a similar loss in another show that I cover on AfterBuzz called Ruby, made by the folks at Brewster Teeth. Their main creator and director passed away very suddenly, but one of the things that he would always say is just keep moving. Just keep moving. Things will keep happening, and as long as you keep moving, you can keep living.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
Definitely.
Life continues.
Life goes on.
So after this, Hideo comes to the ring, and it's the first time we've really seen him since his injury.
In the ring,
yeah. Greg Hamilton interviews him about his recent trip to Japan, how he's healing, all these things. He went overseas. I wasn't sure whether it was to be with his family and take some time off to heal or to promote their upcoming tour to Japan, maybe a little bit of both.
Right.
He got paid to go home.
Yeah.
How can you beat that?
Yeah.
Not a bad deal. So Owens comes out to say he wasn't the one that injured Hideo, and he's sick of people blaming it on him. And he wanted to get an apology from Hideo for calling him a bad person.
which was amazing.
Hilarious. Hideo then calls him an awful human, and I don't know. I just thought Kevin Owens' promo was great, and even when he messed up, his recovery from stumbling.
Delusional.
I've had to deal with a lot of delusionable.
Saying I sound like Hideo trying to speak English.
Nailed it.
To which the crowd said, "Oh man!"
Because they were.
What you got?
It's like it was like chink in the armor. Damn it, he's got another layer.
Yep.
And it grew back stronger.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, he cut promos on like 3 people. Mm-hmm. He got Sammy involved. He on Hideo and on Finn. It was Finn. He's just a master.
He's a big busy boy.
And then even telling the crowd to shut up so that they could hear Hideo talk.
Yeah. Seriously?
He's truly so full of himself.
Yeah.
I mean, in every possible conceivable way.
Mm-hmm. So after that, Kevin Owens is about to attack Hideo, but Finn Balor comes to the rescue. And then after that, Rhyno comes out and attacks Balor, creating the main event for this evening. Finn Balor versus Rhyno.
Once again, Rhyno coming in from just off the screen, and all you see is Balor turning in time to get run over by Rhyno once again.
Yeah.
It was. It's interesting to see Rhyno changing a bit. Even though he's not, he still gets cheered for. People still want to see people get gored. It was an interesting crowd reaction by the time we got to the main event tonight.
What are you thinking of him still being there? Because originally when he came on, we weren't sure whether he would just be on for a chunk of tapings or whether he was back for good. So now we know that he's back for a more significant amount of time. What do you guys think about that?
I'm just sad that it's arguably taking the spot of somebody with a similar build. Mm-hmm. Like Solomon Crow is not the same type of wrestler, but they have a similar build, and he's not been on TV. I don't know if they're saving him for Uha, but because they've had rivalry going back quite some time, or rivalry but friendship, same thing. So. It's sort of a similar thing that I've echoed the past couple of weeks, where we've got all of this pre-established talent. Like let's get Tyler Breeze up there. We still don't have a lot of the folks that are showing up because we're waiting on these guys to kind of pass through. And it's interesting. It's great to see. It is great to see Rhyno, huge ECW fan. But it's especially after him working with barren, and then coming from that,
Having a weird ending with that.
yeah, weird ending where it's like, that was fun, let's do it again, and now all of a sudden he's going after the next person in line. It's not necessarily a character thing as much as it is he's indiscriminately just gunning for the championship. So it's an interesting position from a character standpoint, and it's invaluable to work with a legend like that.
Completely.
But I mean, we're still trying to build up the next generation, not necessarily the generation who's been working for the past 20 years.
It's weird because where do you have that balance? NXT started as the brand of like, it's the minor leagues of wrestling, and so obviously you do want to give a shot to the guys who started there in the training center, but then you also want to build a great product and have more eyes on it and get more buzz about it, and so that means bringing in other people or bringing people back. So
I think it's good, sort of on the whole, to have at least one guy who is the established, grizzled veteran.
Yeah.
The guy who's seen war and been there and can bring war on anybody at any time. It's good to have that. I think it legitimizes a lot of the younger guys. Once they face him, now they're somebody, you know. There's a saying in wrestling...
even if they lose to him?
Right. It's one of those things, if you really bring it to that guy and you lose, at least you can show him how hard you can bring it.
Yeah.
But then there's the idea of you're only as good as the man you beat. So if the man you beat is this incredibly accomplished wrestler, then, well, look at now where you are.
Yeah.
He's a testing stone.
I really liked it, though, back a few months ago when they were bringing in guys for just one taping, and they would wrestle maybe 2-3 matches, like the Cesaros, Tyson Kids, having Natty down there for a while.
Then Tyson stayed.
Having
But like the
Zack
the
Ryder
Titus
down
O'Neil's-
here. That's
well, now that seems a little bit more permanent, and we'll get to that when we get to the match.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting idea.
Yeah. So after this, we get our first match. Cass and Enzo, accompanied by Carmella, come down to the ring. Jason Jordan and Sylvester LaFour are already in there. Cass says they're looking in the ring and they see a couple of busters, not blockbusters, and then starts talking about movies.
Yeah, he does
talks
the whole
about
movie gimmick.
Magic Mike, Entourage. Instead of saying Ted 2, he said
Says
2
two
Ted,
Ted,
which
two
I
Teddies.
think they didn't really recover on commentary about that, but
That-
it was still funny.
It was the line.
He knew exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
I imagine.
One would hope.
What do you think of this match, though?
More of what I don't like seeing from Sylvester LaFour.
Really?
Well.
Okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't a match. It was more of him getting beat up and serving like we just said. You're only as good as the man that you beat. And the past several times we've seen LaFour in the ring, he hasn't really done much.
Yeah.
And look at you look at the guy and you go, wow, like he's such an impressive specimen.
Whatever happened to his blow off with Marcus Louis? Where is Marcus Louis?
Well, the weirdest thing is Marcus Louis just did a tag match with Jason Jordan.
know.
And now he's just going straight to LaFour.
Actually, yeah,
Do you
that
think
is
it was
kind of
like-
weird.
He's
Like,
trying out everyone.
Well, no, but do you think it was like, hey Marcus, do you still have Sylvester's phone number? Because I need. Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, hey, I want to buy one of his wonderful paintings.
Yes.
Which, if you follow him on Twitter, he's doing a lot of painting.
He's the French Bob Ross of wrestling.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say who's that guy, Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're furthering the storyline for Jason Jordan, just waiting for Gable to show up. I hope they don't
That
stretch it
seems
out
too drawn
long.
out at this point, almost.
Something has.
We're getting close. Like, I think the next time, if JJ's not teaming with Gable, Gable has to come out and go, I could have won you this match,
Yeah.
but you wanted
that's
to do something else.
Like JJ or Gable has to get involved to prove that he can be the tag partner that he wants. But as always, I just want to see more of Sylvester LaFour, just because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But on the opposite side of this, I think the way this match went made Enzo look more threatening.
No, I agree.
He was able to win this match on his own, which a lot of people have been arguing that he's not believable in doing. Like that Enzo needs Cass more than Cass needs Enzo. Now Enzo's beaten arguably two people in the same match without getting that hot tag. Now he's actually somebody who can beat somebody.
No, I can agree with that. And also the that crossbody of his. It's not even like a diving crossbody. It's just just like stops him.
That Bray Wyatt crossbody where it's real low. So what it does is sort of roll over you. You can't really catch him. You just kind of go, and then your head hits the back of the canvas.
And you puke a bit.
A little bit.
But yeah, I can agree with that too. Solid from Enzo. He was never knocked out and had to get the hot tag from Cass.
Yeah.
Dig it.
So they show last week's brawl between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. Then we go backstage, a segment that they taped the week prior, I guess, with Samoa Joe.
Unless he's still sweaty and breathing hard.
Yeah.
I don't
and they ask him, what's your reaction after this match? Joe then starts screaming, let them fight, let them fight. He said, I got the fight that I wanted, but I did not get the fight that I wanted. It's a lot of repetition and stuff.
That's kind of a thing with Joe. Something I've noticed in his past couple where he makes sure he hits everything several times.
Well, he brings it full circle in the end. He says I fought him, but I didn't fight him the way I wanted to fight him. But I don't think... I mean, just from my standpoint, I'm like, what did you expect him to just stand there while you walloped him? Like, you didn't think he was going to fight back? You had that great moment where he tried to run away, and then you stopped him and told him to get back in the ring so you two could have a fist fight. He's obviously a contender. It's kind of up to you to bring the fight to him at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
yes,
him repeating things definitely gets his point across. He's definitely believable too. Like he was
100%.
angry.
His knuckles were bloody. Did anybody catch that? Or was that just me?
That's
his knuckles
just
were
you.
bloody. They were swinging. They were real swinging.
all right.
After this, we hear that Dana Brooke is going to be in a match next. And commentary even says, whether you like it or not, Dana Brooke is in action coming up. So they're acknowledging
I
that
like that.
now.
I think they're talking to us now. Hey you, ABTV NXT, whether you like it or not, Dana Brooke's coming up next.
Which I think that that's the general consensus from what I've heard. Wrestling fans and friends of mine who watch elsewhere, not just at AfterBuzz, are not completely
heard
on
it in
board.
the crowd,
but she's
too.
a great heel. Like people hate her.
But that I mean, people mad at her because they're mad at her, or are they mad at her character? Like that's the thing that we don't get, because people can get mad at booking and they take it out on the person. We've seen that before, and this is just a different version of that. People are mad at how the person is booked in the opposite way, and chanting as a result about it. But before we get into the Dana Brooke match, where we're going to be voicing so many opinions, we would like you to voice your opinion. We've talked about it before, and we're gonna bring it up again because not everybody has done it. We need your help. If you go to podcast1.com, that is podcastone.com, there is a listener survey where you can tell us how much you like us or dislike us. Either way, it will provide us with some good knowledge on how to grow the show. We've been growing the show kind of on our own merits, trying to get you more exclusives and more folks, more interviews, and this will definitely help, just like with the iTunes. So if you go to podcastone.com, I know some of you have done it already, but it takes you about 3 minutes. podcastone.com. Do our survey. We'd really appreciate it. So share your opinions about us, and we're going to share our opinions about Dana Brooke.
Yes.
So, Dana Brooke.
This match,
you
Dana
doing?
Brooke, accompanied by Emma, versus Cassidy, which they're calling Cassidy.
Cassie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Is
Isn't
that
that
what
her
they're
name?
packaging her as? Yes, but
I don't think she's packaged yet.
okay.
Because Finn Balor was Fergal Devitt when he first got there until he debuted as Finn Balor. So they're just probably waiting to figure out what she's going to be.
Okay.
And then they're going to give her a name and a...
Maybe she'll come out as Cassie Kelly. Be weird.
Yeah.
Sell the shirts right now. Available on soapboxcartv.spreadshirt.com.
Yeah. But it still seems weird. Why wouldn't they call her Casey?
Well, wasn't that her? That was her gimmick name for the last bit she was in, wasn't it? That's her wrestling gimmick name right now. As opposed to they just not tear people down, but they strip people of their gimmicks and give them their OG name.
Strip people of their unique style and make them into something greater than they were.
Yeah.
I think
A Vision Quest sort of a thing.
during this match, the Dana sucks chant actually made Dana Brooke emote.
Did it?
Yeah,
Really?
like she was angry during it, and I thought she stepped up her game, acting wise in the ring, during this.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
You don't think so?
Wasn't paying that much attention.
It's hard. It like. Yeah, the last. It was weird because Cassie was the last person to fight Charlotte too, so seeing her again and seeing her same style with a new crowd and a new take on everything. It was, I don't know, it seemed like there was something that, I mean, whether you like somebody or dislike somebody, you try to pay attention so that you have something to talk about when it comes to either end of the spectrum.
Right. You have to form an opinion,
And
but it's your job.
there was just something that was like, I still don't. Like, I don't know. I really like, and people say that we rip Dana apart. We don't try to.
Yeah.
She's, there's a better way to say this, but she is a very good heel characteristic about her, where if she tweaks the right things in the right places, people can be booing her for the right reasons. And that's what I hope for her.
Yeah. People in chat room are saying she's still green. She's in developmental, so they're hoping that she'll get better, which is something I agree with.
Because we did that about Charlotte too. Right when Charlotte came back, it was like,
Absolutely.
she's
And now
pretty
she's
green.
my favorite wrestler.
There you go.
Yep.
You're gonna
She's
have to
incredible.
leave when we interview Sasha.
It just takes time. I think Dana, she's gotten better. I mean, at least she didn't talk. But she was better in the ring this time around.
Is it still playtime? I'm unsure about that.
Is it play? No, playtime's over.
Okay.
This is her sandbox.
How are we-
but you gotta get out.
But if she has a sandbox, wouldn't that imply that it's playtime?
Well, not
Are there any business meetings in sandboxes?
It depends on the meeting.
Fair.
Yeah. We are such jerks.
We really are.
Really are.
That's
Yeah.
podcast1.com. For all of you Dana Brooke fans out there, or Dana Brooke, take our survey. Podcast1.com.
Here's something I noticed. The voices cheering for Dana Brooke were a lot lower. I think there's a lot more dudes who like Dana Brooke
All right.
than
Well, this is the
female.
NXT crowd.
You guys are dudes.
Granted. However, we are not necessarily the majority. We're not with the majority on that one.
Yeah,
This
Kathy,
time
we're
around.
not with the majority on that opinion.
Okay. Anyways.
Doesn't work.
I
for
want
bangs.
you both
Really
to
busy.
say something positive about Dana Brooke right now.
Okay.
She does that cool flip really well.
The flips are cool.
She's good with that.
Well, I've been spinning everything into a positive thing. So dang it.
You think you're positive?
I be positive. There's all of the stuff that relates to her bodybuilding acumen and her routines that she does for her bodybuilding routines that she incorporates into her entrance and into her thing. That if we got to see that part, like they show bits of her performing for the competitions and we get to see how much is similar. I think if we got to see more of her from the bodybuilding perspective, bring that in, and how she trains to apply that to a wrestling physique, then I think more people will understand where she's coming from as well. But
Like maybe just some Paul Orndorff vignettes?
Yeah.
Like where she's screaming at people and telling them they're weak and pathetic?
why not? that it worked for Orndorff. Look at where he is now. But that was for him. She is one of
the.
There's a joke in there. She is one of the top heels at NXT. There's no denying that, and it'll be it's fun to see her evolve.
Yeah, I want to know her actual motivation for coming to NXT.
That's another thing. We need to see more.
But I think
of her.
that might make her more likable.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sasha Banks is the biggest heel in the women's division, but everybody loves her because of who she is and what she is everywhere else.
So arguably, is that not a bad heel? If everyone loves you,
it's a respected heel. It's hard.
That's like a Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho could be a bad guy or a good guy, and people are going to cheer him no matter
Kevin
what.
Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Everybody loves, Kevin Owens is doing wonderful things as a heel, but everybody knows what he's about.
But
It's because people get a chance to know him.
But it's relatability is the difference. People can relate to Sasha because they know her story. They know how she got here. Dana Brooke's story is so short that you can't possibly get to know her.
How many professional, maybe she's huge in the professional bodybuilder wrestling fan demographic, but how much of a percentage is that?
I think she does get a lot of positive tweets because I've seen her Twitter and she just retweets them constantly. So there are a lot of people who love her.
Maybe there's like Mojo has Gronkowski. Maybe she's got somebody in the bodybuilding world that's really behind her. That might help get her across.
I think, honestly, they believe in her enough to put her on the tapings, and that's saying a lot considering how many incredible, talented girls they have down there right now.
They have a lot, too.
Agreed.
The crop that they just brought in, they put right on television. That's how amazing that whole section of talent is down there.
Exactly.
All the women. Just fantastic.
And they just signed a girl, I want to say, from Abu Dhabi.
She's
she from?
Canada.
Oh.
But she has...
Okay.
No, she
Someone
has,
tweeted that to me.
Very
Sorry.
close to Abu Dhabi.
but she has roots in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Yes. Her name I can't pronounce. But she's very, very young.
Probably won't be her gimmick name.
Probably not.
No, it might be. Who knows?
But she's arguably the youngest person training at the Performance Center right now. And I believe she's from Canada. At least that's the way it read. Either she came from Abu Dhabi to Canada to here, or just from Canada to here.
Well, she's cute.
But she started wrestling over there. She is cute. They like little girls and big guys, you know.
It seems like they go through phases of what they want. Like they have the model casting, and then they try to train them all, and then they have the only female wrestlers who have backgrounds on the indie scenes.
Well, they like
Different strokes,
international.
Kathy. Different strokes.
They like international talent, people that can relate, and they've been going to Abu Dhabi and the Middle East quite a lot lately.
They had they went to Australia to get that whole crew too, and that's where the two girls came from.
It's an international company, and they need to appeal to an international audience, and they hire accordingly most of the time.
It makes sense, and we'd be stupid to think that America's the only place that has
It's
good
world
wrestlers.
wrestling entertainment.
Right.
And they just signed new folks from India, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of the people that are there are not from
American.
the U.S. So.
Yeah, that was a fun thing that Owens said on commentary in the main event, was just like, do you feel like, that he was asked, do you feel like Finn has a hometown advantage from spending so much time in Japan? And it was like, well, I've spent so much time here, but I don't consider myself an American. And he's like, oh yeah, that's right, he's Canadian.
Yes.
I had a really stupid moment where I was like, wow, they have to work on July 4th. They don't care about July 4th.
No. Owens doesn't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably does, but
I mean,
arguably he knows what the 4th of July is.
I don't know. He
It's
knows there's a lot of meat
just another
and some
day.
explosions. To him, it's
I mean, that's
probably
most
a lot
of Canada
fun.
most days, but I digress. What was the...
So Devin Taylor interviews Charlotte backstage after this match. Charlotte ends up making fun of Dana's door promo and says the next opportunity she gets, she's going to kick Dana's ass. She's going to take it. Or the next opportunity she gets to kick Dana's ass, she's going to take.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah.
what is she going to take?
Gonna take her ass.
Where?
Scoop it out with both hands.
It's mine now.
Take her to the playground.
I need it. No, Kathy, we've been over this. Playtime's over.
Oh,
Playtime is clearly over.
5 more minutes.
Okay,
All right.
5 more minutes, and then we go to bed. I thought this was good.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
thought Charlotte was actually really believable.
It looks like they didn't plan to do this because her hair wasn't done, or they taped it after she had a match or something. They're like,
she
we
was
need.
wearing wearing a black dress, like she just sort of came
she
from
just showed
Justice
up.
Memorial, kind of like.
I don't think that happened.
I don't think, but it's weird that she's wearing a black dress.
I just thought that it looked like she had wrestled a match already, and then they're like, oh wait, can we film one more backstage promo with you? And so she put her hair up and she put on any dress or whatever that she had, either in the locker room or in her car.
Put on something. Get on television right
Yeah.
now.
More believable.
Yeah. No, it was a good, very good promo.
Yeah. So we get the part 2 of the get to know Finn Balor packages.
Fergal Devitt.
Fergal Devitt.
Prince Devitt.
Yeah, his real team.
Him hanging out with Sami Zayn. They're going to dinner, but first he has to finish building his Lego
It's
set.
like a pirate ship.
Yes.
I knew somebody who had one.
Like a Lego pirate ship.
Complex.
My mom has one.
I still have a whole bunch of Legos, and the Lego movie kind of made me go, I would love to get Legos again, go into a Lego store, and every set starts at like $50-$60. So it's like, okay, I'll stick with the ones that I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I built a grand piano over the weekend out of Legos.
I feel like you just built a grand piano, like strings and all.
Yep.
That's the talent.
Full size.
Full size grand piano Lego.
A mini grand
So yeah,
piano.
full size.
Oh, I see.
Full size for Lego people. Yeah.
They have like their hands look like this. How do they play the piano?
Dunk, 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 dunk. There you go.
That's how I play piano too,
Yeah.
coincidentally.
Plenty in common.
Good. You
You
So
and Finn are Lego people.
they could play chopsticks or not chopsticks. What's that song where it's like dun, 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 with your fist?
It's
That's my favorite song.
I don't normally fist pianos.
So, how many fans do you think are gonna buy
Jeff-
him Lego sets
Jeff
now?
Blaze. That's the problem. Is now he's gonna get so much, and that's so
Is Lego
expensive.
sponsoring
He's
him?
gonna feel. I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe.
They might be now. Buy your own WWE Lego set.
And that's a huge way into the kid market too.
Oh my gosh!
Like there's Minecraft everything.
WWE Legos?
Well, they have the
You
the
can
fake
build
Lego.
a ring?
They have fake Lego. It's not called Legos. They're like build blocks or stack
yeah,
bricks or
yeah.
something, stackers or something.
Mega Blocks.
But
I think.
it's some division of that. So it's Lego, but it's not. But if they could swing this into an actual Lego, that would be amazing. That'd be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
What could you build? Like
Madison Square Garden.
arenas
You
and
Titan Towers?
You could
The
build
Performance
wrestlers.
Center?
I could imagine you building wrestlers. Like you could build Sheamus.
they have at FAO Schwartz. They have Chewbacca made out of Legos.
What a Wookiee!
I have a picture with it.
Of course you do.
How about wrestling?
So,
This is
well,
wrestling.
he
This
talks
is
about
wrestling.
he talks
Sorry,
about
there's just another
learning
segment
from
coming
Matt Bloom / Jason Albert. He
Japan.
talks about his time in the Japanese dojo.
They were so adorable together.
They were super adorable.
On the back
What a
of the
weird
bike.
Friendship.
Yeah, what an
even
odd
said
friendship
that.
that.
Actually, Fergal on the back of that bike had some different kind of connotations to it. Like that was.
They went to the.
I wonder what people thought of them riding down the road together.
What, Fergal and his bear friend?
Yes.
So while he was there, he was basically an apprentice, had to clean, cook, and I feel
Japan's
like
no
you have to really want it if that's the case. You're basically people's
Roddy Piper couldn't make it.
yutch.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. He drove through a Korean restaurant.
I was gonna say he established a new drive-through Korean restaurant,
Yes.
but
And then was asked
Different
to
kind
leave
of-
then he was asked to leave
the
Japan.
country forever.
Yeah, it's like, can you leave? Just don't come back. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Don't come
If you want to hear that interview, going back to our Legends House interview with Roddy Piper, it's a quick search on YouTube. It was a lot of fun.
So
Sponsor.
after these segments, it's definitely obvious that he's going to be the next big face of the company.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because they can now that these packages are done, they can play them whenever they want. On WWE television, they can make it one concise thing. I figure we'll probably see a shortened version on the July 4th special.
They've been promoting them like crazy on social media.
Is it called
as well.
the Beast from the East special? Is that what it's called?
I couldn't say.
I mean,
as far as I know, they're building it around Brock Lesnar being in Japan, but they haven't given it a name.
So they're building an entire show around the murder of Kofi Kingston.
Yes.
Is it weird that I don't care about anything other than Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor? I'm going to watch it. But
Jericho and Neville is going to be amazing.
Killer.
Wow. And just to see them in the Tokyo Dome and how they make the Tokyo Dome theirs.
So I had a theory. A lot of people were wondering why the last match between Owens and Cena was happening at this next pay-per-view as opposed to holding off one more for SummerSlam. What if it's because they plan to do a Kevin Owens Finn Balor at SummerSlam?
For the US title?
For something.
I don't know. That'd be cool. And more about SummerSlam and NXT at the end of the show, which we've got some time, but we got 2 more matches and an excellent
I still wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
It's interesting. There's all this talk about Battleground and nothing about SummerSlam yet, and it sort of seems like they have a plan, which is sort of very strange for them to seemingly have a plan.
Their second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Right. At least that's how they try and build it.
Is Battleground this Sunday? Next Sunday?
No, it's July 19th or something.
Okay, it's July.
I'm sorry. It's still several weeks away. We're used to having back-to-back
every 2 weeks, so I'm like, well, when's this one?
Okay, so we get a little segment on Bull. He says, or they say that Regal told him to get in shape and show multiple pictures of him on Instagram, eating chips, wearing chips, sleeping, looking like he's sleeping.
Oh, God.
And
falling asleep with a sandwich in one hand.
What do you think of where they're going with him? I know we've talked about it.
We've talked about it at length, but it looks like Bull is having fun with it. And if Bull is okay with it, then that must mean that the way that they're going with it is something that he's all right with. And it's cool to see a guy like Bull. It's cool to see a guy like Bull on TV in a better capacity than, hey, he got beat again. So this is a different way to take him in. It's still a big hypocrisy about the 2 other biggest faces of the company right now, arguably. But it looks like he's having fun, and as a result, I can enjoy it more.
I think Bull Dempsey wants to be on television, so Bull Dempsey will do what he needs to be on television. And I can very much respect that point of view.
It seems, although we were definitely on board with Old Bull, I think that this is almost getting more over with fans.
Well, also he's the fact that
it's different.
The first thing that we saw of this new Bull was a match against Tyler Breeze, and the first photo of Bull was Breeze like this. What's this dude doing here? And then did you see his thing with Itami today? It was amazing. It came into the trainer's room to get my shoulder looked at, and it's a picture of Bull with chips on and he's just holding his stomach, and he's like, "What? It was an after workout nap." He's like, "Terrible." What? Like they had like a little back and forth, but it's like everybody is trying to find a new way to make this fun and entertaining.
Yeah.
And
I just hope it's a good payoff.
You sort of get all of everybody backstage sort of getting involved in this. So I think everybody's like, yeah, I'll give my 2 minutes to this. This is funny. You know, it's somewhere between kind of like uncomfortable, almost fat shaming kind of comedy, but it's still funny.
I think that they need to have one of the guys who's that build be in a comedy.
Yeah.
And whether this is something he came up with, someone else came up with, it does seem like he's having fun.
You have to own it. If it's your idea, if it's somebody else's idea, whatever the opportunity is, they greenlight it, you have to do it 100%.
And he is. Undertaker Punk in chat roll said, #Bull's beautiful.
Yep.
Bull is beautiful.
Kit.
No.
Yeah. I know.
Also have to give a shout out to the Clement W on Twitter who sent us a picture of us as Legos.
What? I have to look
Pretty
right
awesome.
now.
You'll be kidding
Let me see if I can.
He Lego'd us.
Well, his image or his profile is a Lego.
Yeah.
Is him as Emmett.
Quit it.
So there's me as a coconut.
Anyways, we have to keep going.
We do.
Talk about this next match. The Hype Bros, Mojo and
I
Zack
see what you
Ryder versus Sawyer Fulton and Angelo Dawkins.
Hey, more of them.
Yes. Definitely giving new life to Ryder's career with this pairing.
This is arguably where he belongs.
It seems right. It just
Yes.
seems right. If they're not going to use him on the main roster, it seems like this is something he gets to wrestle, and this has potential of them going up to the main roster.
It looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
He's also got the appeal of this wrestling crowd that he's always had, but he's just been on the main roster. So this is a great way to build him back up for the rest of the people who are now tuning into NXT to go, oh, Zack Ryder's wrestling and he's winning, and that's a great way. Even if this is a new tag team for good or not, it's a great restart for both of them.
All the people that want to see Zack Ryder wrestle on the main roster might also be swayed to start watching NXT because
If
of
they
that.
haven't already.
Yeah.
If I think most of that is like a big cross.
I think we still think that more people watch it than do.
Probably.
But
Well, I mean, the only thought in my head now is, if this goes well, do we see the Internet Championship on NXT television?
I've been saying it for the past year.
I mean, we know it exists. They've acknowledged it on commentary that Ryder is the current Internet Champion.
And that belt is sweet, though. Have
It is
you've seen
super
it, right?
sweet.
Yeah.
And I think it even appeared in a game once. In one of the
Really?
games that they made it available, and he came out with it.
That's right.
Because I think he came out with it on TV once.
Yeah. So I think there's potential crossover for, I mean, just there being an additional championship in NXT.
Like a fun
If
championship.
this goes well.
Like Taz's FTW championship.
I mean, it basically is that same championship. I think Ryder's name is permanently on it.
Well, it's his head. His head is the championship.
Whoever has it, do they have to do their hair like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
It comes with a free hat.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the Hype Bros end up winning this match.
With the Hype Rider, I think
Yeah.
is what they're
Used to
calling
be
it.
Rough Rider. I
Well,
was
it's the
wondering
Rough
what
Rider
it is.
off the top, but they added more hype to
They
it.
called it an assisted Rough Rider tonight.
Yeah. Well, Mojo
They need
said Hype Rider
Okay.
right as he was doing, right as it was happening. So
Okay.
I figured that's what he was going for.
I like that. What do you guys think overall, though?
More Fulton and Dawkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, even though there is like, at first when I was writing my notes, I was like, oh, there's a lack of tag teams. There really isn't. It's just a lack of tag teams on NXT, like
And-
consistently.
And competitive, because there's a lot of folks that fight that are that do matches, but they don't necessarily win.
Yeah.
So once JJ and Gable start, maybe we'll see a little bit more back and forth. Hopefully we'll see more back and forth with Fulton and Dawkins, because they dropped the Shoot Nation thing. It's going to be a different gimmick at some point, but they lost the headpiece,
Yeah.
and now it's just Sawyer Fulton with a mohawk.
I'll tell you, I didn't like Dawkins and Fulton in this match.
Really?
I didn't. They're supposed to be like wrestler types, and I just kept seeing them do cheap shots, and they really didn't do anything at all to impress.
They've been more memorable in other matches for me.
Yeah, I
No,
think
agreed. But
they
it,
were
And maybe that's
holding
because
back.
the Hype Bros completely overshadowed them.
and now that if they have dropped the straight up Shoot Nation and they're just amateur style as opposed to like, no, this is all that we do, and maybe they're still just trying to find their ground now. And
Possibly.
hopefully we'll see more from them in the future.
Regal and Eva Marie talk.
Boo! Sorry, that was my impression of the crowd.
Crowd is big fans of Eva Marie.
They did not shoot that live, because if they did, you won't be able to hear a damn word, which is sad.
Eva says she wants a match, and Regal says he needs proof that she's been putting in work. Eva says, no problem.
But what does that mean? She wants a match with somebody at NXT, and Regal's like, well, wait.
She said one of the women in NXT, and he said the women's division. Like, there was no talk of divas all in this, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
So is he gonna fight somebody? Is she gonna fight somebody from the women's division or from the divas division? I don't get it.
I think she's had enough of this
being
diva
silly.
thing.
Whoops.
That's
That
disgusting.
was awkward.
That's disgusting. How do you do that?
Coconut snot!
Coca snot.
Anyways.
I'm working it too hard over there, Kathy.
So Eva Marie.
We're gonna work it too hard. No, she's been working very hard down here with Brian Kendrick.
I'm interested to see what she's learned.
Me too. But
she's
how
improved.
is it? Are we gonna see backstage vignettes of her training at the performance center with like Regal watching, and that way she can be like, oh, actually, I would like that. I would like that a lot instead of just her showing up in the ring.
Yeah, how do you prove yourself?
Yeah. If she's in the back trading with Sarah Del Rey, and you get to see how much she has evolved.
Or they put together a package of her training with Kendrick.
Something like that, yeah.
Does it change anything? Will the crowd accept her?
I
Are they just gonna?
Hey.
I think
boo
it's
her
how
into the
she
ground
does.
until
Honestly, I think that they're very accepting if you're good. And if she has improved significantly, then I think that there is a chance.
Hey, there was hope for Roman Reigns.
Saying there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance. I would be interested in seeing that because I think people know that. People know that she's trained with Kendrick, but you don't know what she's done until you see her do it. So I would like to see a video package of her training.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
Cool. Hobo's down.
Okay.
Okay.
So, main event, Finn Balor versus Rhyno. In the match that was made tonight, Kevin Owens comes out after Finn's entrance, sits on commentary.
Right up next to Byron Saxton, like, hey, buddy, how you doing?
They all stand up. Byron
Just
Saxton
like-
looks like he's about to pee himself.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. And then the match begins. Kevin Owens is being an absolute jerk to everyone on commentary, but it's great.
Literally, you had to watch this almost twice. Once for everything going on in the ring, and once to just listen to the goofiness on commentary.
Yeah.
Rhyno comes down to the ring, and Owens just like, I love rhinos. I love Rhyno. I love rhinos. I love Rhyno. I was expecting him to say I love Lamp next. Did you just naming things?
Are you looking at things and saying you love them?
I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
I love Byron.
I love Byron.
He loves Corey.
He loves Corey.
Great.
What was Corey wearing today?
Suspenders.
Yeah, he was wearing
He
the
looked
short,
cool.
short sleeves.
shirt. He looked like
That's-
alfalfa.
no,
with
that's a punk thing.
thing.
That's a punk thing.
That's not. That's
It's a hipster
not-
thing.
That's
It's a
a
punk
hipster
thing.
thing.
Hipster.
That's
Sure.
not a punk thing.
Hipster.
It's just a hipster thing.
Regardless.
You fool.
Kevin Owens then walks to the ring mid-match, distracts Finn. Finn still victorious with the coup de grace for the win. Kevin Owens, after the match, starts attacking Finn, and then Rhyno joins in and starts beating Finn too.
Yeah, Joe made the save.
Yeah.
And that was the show.
Yep.
I like how we did a whole segment on Eva Marie, on Dana Brooke, and the thing that we call out for fashion is Corey Graves,
Well,
which you can watch on Culture Shock live on the WWE Network.
Here's why I noticed.
$9.99 a month.
Everybody who does commentary wears a suit jacket.
Because it's different.
Except for
Yeah.
Corey Graves.
They are grasping onto his different look
Yeah.
They
as
really are.
much as they can. So
It appeals to a different kind of demographic, arguably younger demographic, less sports, more
millennial.
millennials.
He still looks dressed up. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
No, he looks good.
All those short sleeves. I
Short
didn't
sleeves
think he
are
looked
pushing it.
dressed up at all. I think the short sleeves were pushing it. If he was to wear long sleeves with the suspenders, that would have been fine. But short sleeves with the suspenders, just what are you doing? You look like a kid. I'm imagining he's wearing short pants underneath.
I'm
like
just glad that
old-fashioned
they
short
showed him
pants.
because I was going to wear the same thing to the show today.
Yeah, it's good. It's overlapping.
Yeah.
I like this match, though. We don't talk at all. We talk about so much other stuff. The matches were just like, it was a match.
That was the thing about tonight is that the matches were good. It's like, oh yeah, it was a good match. It wasn't like, oh, did you see when this move and he did the thing that was holy crap? Like, no, this was the first show of a recording is usually the establishment show that preps you for everything else. So this is one where you watch the homework. This is one you watch for homework, and then the next couple of shows are going to be like, yes, because if The tag match next week, hopefully, is going to be like... They're going to give like 2-3 segments to.
Yeah. I was going to say, wrestling-wise, the only new interesting things that we saw were during the Hype Bros match.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
everything else was good.
Yeah, it was good. It's very good. But this was very much more of a story, as opposed to a physical.
Well, I mean, even a story of Balor and Rhyno. Rhyno goes in, and you can see him start to rev up and start to go to chase Balor. But then all of a sudden, Balor doesn't run and starts punching Rhyno in the head, and Rhyno doesn't know what to do. He's just suddenly like, what happened? Like if you ever have a large animal like a bear or a lion, they don't tell you not to run away from it, tell you to run towards it, because it freaks out, and that's exactly what happened here. It's like, oh crap, I don't know what to do. And he started to fight back a little bit, but he couldn't gain control until the moment after all this dive and stuff where Balor's just on top of him 100%. Balor slides into the ring and just Rhyno clubs him. It's just like, oh, thank God, a moment of peace.
Yeah.
It's exactly, I could see what all the wheels turning.
That was Discovery Channel right there.
It
That's what you just did. That
it's
was
funny.
Yeah. So a solid match sets up for the next month, and I don't know if they're building towards. Well, no, because that's next week. I wonder what they're going to be building towards. Like what's going to happen on the NXT shows after Japan? Because they're building towards Japan.
Well,
and
it
then Japan's
depends
gonna
on
happen.
what happens in Japan.
But that's how many weeks did they shoot? Did they shoot 4
No,
weeks?
they couldn't. They have to have shot up to Japan.
Yeah.
They can't shoot past Japan.
Yeah, because of the title match.
Right.
Unless they just didn't have anything for Balor or Owens.
No, that's probably no. They couldn't do
Okay.
that. They need to hype it. They need to hype it because it's going to be a network special. Japan's a network special, so you need one of the big matches to have. It's got to be the closeout before Japan's got to be on NXT. It's got to be some sort of big thing to send it home for Japan.
Agreed. And speaking of big things, there is a rumor that Triple H has started. I don't know if anybody saw his tweet. Did you guys see the tweet?
You mentioned it to
I
me.
did.
I didn't see it.
Good. I was trying to be professional and be like, hey, did you hear about this brand new thing? Triple H tweeted a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge and said something to the effect of the future is now. It's like big things planned for SummerSlam and the hashtag the future is now.
I thought you
and-
were going to say, hey, got this for sale. Anybody want to buy it?
I would be more shocked if they didn't have an NXT presence
I didn't
at
even
SummerSlam.
say that. You're blowing my mind.
What?
Yeah, you said it.
That's what you're
That's what I'm
alluding to.
implying.
Yeah.
So the rumor is
Like they,
the rumor is that NXT is going to have some sort of a presence at SummerSlam, like they did at WrestleMania.
but they've also had an NXT presence at SummerSlam before.
They didn't last
just
year.
did.
So that was the big thing. Is last year's SummerSlam?
Did they announce it last year?
They didn't have it last year at SummerSlam,
Or
but the year before,
year before.
Yeah,
I
the year
went
before.
to
No, I
at
know.
Right.
Access.
You tell us all the time.
They had. I know. I'm gonna mention it again. You're gonna get sick of me. So
I am
they
pretty sick
had
of
a
it.
huge thing at Access, and so I would be surprised if they didn't do something because it is on the East Coast again. It's
Easier
closer.
drive.
They've done
Yeah.
NXT Albany. They've done Columbus. They've done all these places in that vicinity, and this is one of their biggest pay-per-views. It would be stupid for them not to have a presence
I just
there.
wonder where they'd play. Maybe if they played, what was the ballroom? Hammerstein Ballroom? Could you imagine if they played that place?
That'd be
huge. That's where the one night
crazy.
stand and a lot of ECW stuff was.
The ballroom?
Yeah, Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein Ballroom. It's a
Dude,
huge wrestling
It's a
venue.
Yeah.
huge wrestling venue. That would be insane.
I guess
Okay.
we'll just have to wait and find out what actually
Yeah, if
happens.
that's true or not, well, I guess we'll find out. Oh, also Sasha Banks confirmed that she's going to be in WWE 2K16. So there is that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes,
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I
Oh,
guess
next week's show.
this wraps up our show.
Does it?
It does, unless
Cool.
you have something else you want to talk about.
I already did.
Okay.
Triple H.
So,
Triplets.
thank you guys so much for tuning in. We would love to hear your feedback in the YouTube comments and on iTunes. Give us 5
And Podcast
stars.
One.
And Podcast One. In the meantime, you can tweet us your thoughts on NXT or pretty much any other wrestling show. Where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark and at The Gimmick Pod. If you ask us enough questions to talk about for The Gimmick Pod, maybe we'll do one. Hashtag NX Team. We actually do have NX Team stuff on soapboxcartv.spreadshirt.com. It's a shirt. Help support us get to New York. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at TrueHobo and ProWrestlingTees.com/hobos where you can buy a shirt. And I manage a training center out here in Los Angeles, so go follow at CWFH Training.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly and on Instagram at Kathy Kelly. You can follow all of us here on Twitter and Instagram at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you again next Thursday. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Coconut Head.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.